The date was November 16th, 2020. It was the day of reckoning. One of my subscription feeds popped up. It was for a young Turk at the top, the third. It was a video about Shadman. And at 2:08 through 2:13, he showed me Shadman prom. God, the world is over. Are you trying to get Monkey Jonesed off the platform? Holy... I just need that as a segue, because that specific video got me thinking about the N-word of the Smash community. Oh, you don't know what that is? Maybe you should stick around and find out. So, you may have heard there was a little event that happened a while ago that involved people within the Smash community getting called out for XXX misconduct. I made a video talking about the first four that came up because I was in a small Discord server that was involved with Smash, and everyone should know because not everyone was from the US and a lot of them are US based players. I finished and posted that video. I was devastated that the list grew to 120 people. I think it was pretty close. It's very high, even still. It just sucks. Because I enjoy Smash games a lot. And the community turned it into kind of a trivial witch hunt, and there were even some bad actor accusations like Esan calling out Me Too King. Like, imagine your colleague calls you out for XXX misconduct. Then, something you were not even willing to talk about at first, something that should not have even come up, but had to be discussed because of these allegations, required you to properly record on your YouTube channel that, nah, bro. My junk doesn't actually work for that to be possible. And you had actual paperwork to tell the world why that was the case. We live in that timeline. Seriously, boxing ring, Esam, boxing ring. But that's just it. Even the bad actors, the very few that there were, and the ones in all these allegations where either the community wants to drop them, not take them seriously, or are currently being handled in court, this still happened. That's a lot of red flags. The flags have brought quite a good amount of change though. There's been discussions on toxicity, better improvement of being a spectator, how you should act. There's been larger discussions of looking out for all individuals within the community and reporting it better. And of course, my favorite, the hygiene discussion, because it always comes up. However, nothing's actually been done to talk about the regulation itself and implementation of that regulation. See, COVID hit, so there hasn't actually been an in-person tournament as of late. So I'm just going to be upfront and ask about it. How do we prevent XXX abuse situations from happening within the Smash community? Well, I think a good place to start would be at a lot of the Twitlongers. And I say a lot of them because we need a good sample size to figure out what happened. As I read through the majority of them, a lot of the situations happened where the alleged accused was either under the influence, intoxicated, or alone with the victim, or any combination of the three. Now, some of them were domestic cases, and I don't know how to respond to that. This video will not cover that particular individual. However, I don't need to, because the one I want to focus on is the N-word of the Smash community. Nairo. Hey, we got to our video title. Woo! See, Nairo's case is interesting because his accuser is Captain Zack. Captain Zack is also a controversial figure within the community. I won't say what Captain Zack has done, you can Google it on your own. But I will say, because of Captain Zack's past actions, I've seen a lot of people within the community rally within Nairo for support, or heads firm even stronger against Nairo. A lot of this is not productive to what should be the end goal. And the end goal is to say, preventing power dynamics within the community so no more people are put into XX abuse situations. Now I want you to remember that. I'm going to post it on the top part of the screen here in just a second as a little reminder. I have to come back to that point because the next thing I got to talk about to get why that is important and what needs to be discussed is to also look at what's currently happening within the Smash community. See, Melee is under fire. I'm pretty sure you've seen the hashtag #FreeMelee. If you're not aware, Free Melee is the battle cry of competitive Smash players who are against Nintendo's prevention of this Big House 4 of using the Dolphin emulator with the Slippy extension add-on for an online tournament. Many of the reasons cited against Nintendo for doing this have been kind of the same ones we hear for a while. Nintendo not wanting to support the community scene like other video game companies do, and Nintendo being against emulation of their games, which is also true. I want to put a third theory on the table. What if Nintendo is disappointed and mad at the Smash community's past actions from earlier this year? Shocking, I know, and a little tinfoiling. And you might even be saying, well, the community shouldn't reflect negatively upon the game. And I would argue, in a lot of cases this is true, but fighting games, a little bit more interesting things happen. Because see, as a spectator, when you're watching a player, they can in times be the only player playing that character. And in fact, have grown to even be accustomed to being the face of that character to the spectator. Daigo Umehara is known to me as Ken Masters from Street Fighter 3rd Strike. Hungrybox will always be Super Smash Bros. Melee's Jigglypuff, and even MKLeo will always be Smash Ultimate's Joker. Say what you will and disagree with me, but think of the decline in popularity of playing Palutena at a high level thanks to the accusations of Nairo. So in turn, a player getting into trouble reflects negatively on the character. The character getting negative press reflects badly on the game and the company as a whole. Add that with the other two factors that Nintendo's known for, and I think we have a pretty good reason as to why the competitive community gets a lot of flack still. From Nintendo and critics alike. Because at the end of the day, that's who the Smash community needs to win the support of. And I think just getting all of your hens in order is a good way to make sure that Nintendo can't be like, well, blah 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 blah, we're not going to support it. And I bring us back to our first point. How do we prevent the power dynamics from negatively impacting the community in a way players and spectators alike can avoid being put into XX abuse situations? I have 3 ideas on that. They're not popular. I'm gonna get a dislike or two from it, but I'm willing to state it if it improves the scene and improves good standing with Nintendo. Alright, the first one's pretty obvious. No adult competitive Smash players in rooms alone with minors. Wow, I didn't think I needed to say that. This just seems kind of like on the head obvious, but like that's where a couple of these really fucked up situations happen. And even then, they definitely happen because drugs and alcohol are in the mix. I think I can't convince people to say, oh, don't bring drugs and alcohol to like your hotel room if you're on vacation or travel or for an event. No one's gonna listen to me. So at least do that first step, like Jesus Christ. Second idea, let's have a minor division in Smash similar to Dragon Duels within Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not a big fan of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore and I got really burnt out from the scene. However, despite my discrepancies with the game, one thing they do extremely well is they have a league for Dragon Duels. Dragon Duels involves 18-year-old and under duelists who are allowed to compete in competitive tournaments, and they even have their own nationals and international events, which is really cool. Overall, it's a great way to continue to grow the player base for younger players and add more prize support for people who otherwise wouldn't get the chance. And the big thing from doing this is that tournament officials that were in these leagues were trained specifically to deal with children or had backgrounds dealing with that. I think that's something the Smash community desperately needs. A lot of people are against the idea within the community of Smash because they say it divides it, but I counter-argument that creating more prize pools and more chances for people to compete has always increased the size of community. My third idea, and this one's not going to be directed at the community, it's going to be more directed at the high-level players that could potentially watch this video, if at all. Can you guys stop fucking around and trying to compare yourselves and say who the best is? Like, holy shit. Your behavior is atrocious at times, and I really do question how we still have a community. I'm glad we can laugh and joke about it, but at times I do wonder if the lack of professionalism is why Nintendo was so hesitant in the first place. Now, you might be wondering, 52K, you seem like you're irrationally getting upset at high-level players for the stupid drama on Twitter. And my counter thing is, I agree. I am a little bit irrational in that sense. However, I'm also thinking the irrationality of saying free Melee when in reality the community doesn't act like they want to be a part of Nintendo. See, that right there is the double-edged sword. The community doesn't want to act like it's a part of Nintendo. Going to my point a moment ago, the high-level players don't act like a Nintendo-friendly company. They don't act and behave the way Nintendo wants. And they've clearly been involved and related to activities Nintendo doesn't want. Look, the beacons of the community have to downfall their behavior onto the other players. And this scales for the spectators and anyone in the scene. You gotta clean your shit up. I get it, it sucks, but if you want Nintendo to back you up, you have to act like you're a part of Nintendo. And that has never been the tradition for Melee or Ultimate. But I think doing those three things would be great steps in improving the safety of the scene and also just giving a better outlook for the community. There is one other sentiment I want to address within the community. A lot of discussions have come from top players such as Armada and Leffen that they kind of just want the community to be ignored by Nintendo and let Smash Melee do its own thing. That could be the case. Grassroots has always been the route for Melee, so I'm not surprised. I do say this, Nintendo does a very poor job of preserving games and is not receptive to legacy and really has dropped the ball on, tournament support. 100% agree. You will not find me disagreeing. Yet, I want to take note of at least two other instances that I can think of where Nintendo did actually reach out with competitive players. The first was with Smash 4, where you had the little tournament. I think it was a bunch of players. I just remember Hungrybox and Zero on stage getting the chance to kind of talk with Reggie Fils-Aimé, and they made Reggie Fils-Aimé John, which was funny. And then the other one is the Smash Ultimate tournament, where they brought a bunch of high-level players to play the game. And I think the final set was between Zero and MKLeo. Those were both advertising stunts and acknowledgement of the community. I've seen a lot of discussion to say that wasn't the case, that it was only just an advertising stunt. But I want to take a step back. This video was ultimately about looking at preventing the power dynamics from being more prevalent within the Smash communities. I gave 3 ideas. I put it out there. If you want, you can let me know how right or wrong I am in the comments. But I want to leave off with one sentiment. TurkeyTom's video talks about how the art community, in a sense, has always protected Shadman as an artist in trying to defend him as the crazy uncle. Granted, I think that narrative isn't the strongest, but it's easy to see how that formulates and could almost, in a sense, be true. I don't want that to happen to the Smash community. We've done a good job pointing out flaws within competitive Smash, and there's been so much growth over the course of at least 13-15 years. But it's important to note we can't free Melee until we realize, in a sense, that the community is slightly responsible for digging itself into that foothold. It was so young, it's easy to forget the immaturities of earlier actions even before the allegations. As soon as it started, that the community has always been in a rocky place. But with a bit of reflection and trying to make sure that it's prepared for once tournaments open back up in person, I feel, and most people would agree, deserves a chance to continue existing and making great content. Because hey, there's more Melee to be played, there's more Ultimate to be played. I'm your hidden power gem, 52K signing out. Whoa, hold up. Sorry I have to add this last bit. Nintendo Life recently released a really awkward article, making a tangent that this video makes. I kind of did it as more of a tinfoily. I don't fully believe that that is the sole reason. I think Nintendo has been hesitant of the competitive Smash Bros. Community. More so that the community has had a sense of lacking of professionalism probably since it started, and that's because the community was so young and grassroots. It hasn't really had the chance to continue maturing. It is taking the right steps, and it is making the discussion known. I just want to be clear, because I feel like the coincidence that article coming out when I'm posting this video is going to make people correlate that they think I made this video in tangent with that article. I had no idea this article was coming out. And again, I actually care about the Smash Bros. Community and understand a lot about it. I may not know every detail, but I want it to continue to flourish. And that's where this video's perspective comes from. Again, thank you for watching.